Hi beautiful souls, welcome to my channel Elle's Temple. My name is Elle, I'm a goddess guide and intuitive tarot reader, and today I am so excited to be bringing you a reading all about you will have union with this soulmate in your life. So this is going to be a really encouraging reading, a really uplifting reading. I'm so excited to get into it. We have the beautiful Kuan Yin goddess here today who is overseeing this reading, and when I was choosing the topic for the reading, Kuan Yin came through and her themes of love, compassion and unity were what decided what this reading was going to be about, because Kuan Yin is very much someone who, or she's very much a goddess who can help you to call in love, unconditional love, and relationships and connections that are founded on like mutual respect, self, sort of compassion for each other, care for each other, relationships that are founded on mutual values, on, really enhancing the self-love that you already feel for yourself. She's a wonderful goddess to call on to help create that foundation within yourself first, so that then you're in a position to be able to extend that unconditional love out to others. So also just to mention with this reading, this is mostly going to be about romantic connections. However, if you are aromantic, you can certainly use this reading to check in and see about just a soulmate connection, because Kuan Yin is very much a goddess, as I mentioned, who oversees unconditional love and creating those unconditionally loving connections in our lives, even if they're not necessarily romantic. So if you're just looking for a beautiful friendship, a beautiful companion, a beautiful non-romantic soulmate in your life, or friendship or something, or even, sometimes a soulmate connection can be a family member, or something like that. So if you are drawn to this reading and that's the type of thing you want to manifest in your life, then by all means use this reading for that. So my lovelies, just to introduce each of the four piles, in case you are new to pick a card readings, how this works is there's going to be 4 different readings here today. I've got 4 different tarot decks with 4 different Two of Cups cards from each of the different tarot decks for you to select from. So if you are drawn to one of these cards, the timestamp for each pile will be below. So this is going to be pile number 1. If you're drawn to this Two of Cups card, which is from the Crystal Magic Tarot, you'll be pile number 1. So the timestamps will be in the description box below, and you can just click on that once you know which pile is yours, and then that will take you to your reading. If you are drawn to this Two of Cups card, this is from the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot, you will be pile number 2. If you are drawn to this Two of Cups card from the Everyday Witch Tarot, you will be pile number 3. And if you are drawn, last but not least, to this Two of Cups card, this is from the Wild Unknown Tarot, you'll be pile number 4. Okay, my love, so take a moment to pause the video if you need a little bit more time to choose. If for some reason you're drawn to more than one pile, that's completely fine. Just trust your intuition. It may be that there are some messages from one pile related to one aspect of your journey and some other messages from another pile that are related to that aspect. Just to quickly go through what the reading is going to be covering, we're going to be looking at the illusions that you might hold about yourself that are blocking you from being in this soulmate connection. We're also going to be looking at what you need to do to align with calling this soulmate into your life. And then we're going to be looking at your person's energy and the sort of relationship dynamic that you have. So we've got quite a lot to get into in this reading. So I'm so excited. I've already pre-pulled your cards and there's some really beautiful messages coming through. It's going to be a beautiful and uplifting reading. I will see you in your pile. Hi there, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading on you will have union with this soulmate in your life. So let's get into the first part of your reading. I'm going to start by looking at, I've pre-pulled some oracle cards for you on what illusions are blocking you from basically calling in this soulmate. And then we're going to look at what you can do to align with calling in your soulmate relationship. And then we're going to look at some tarot cards about their energy and the sort of dynamic of your relationship. So let's get into the cards related to what is blocking you at the moment from calling this in. And we've got the Forest from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. We've got Aquamarine and White Lily with Go With The Flow, Divine Mother, Shekinah Flow, and Detach. and we've got simplicity. So let's see, I'm going to put this in the middle, I think. Okay, and this down here. Okay, so part number 1. With the forest here and detach, I feel like there's a strong message coming through around the need to be more open and going like sort of surrendered and in a state of being able to go with the flow and be receptive to what the universe might be trying to bring you. I feel like with this simplicity card and this feather, it's like the universe has maybe been trying to send little signs, because feathers are always a symbol from spirit that they're sending you a message, right? Because feathers from birds, and birds are the messengers of spirit. So I feel like there's been some kind of messages that have been coming through to you about this soulmate connection or about this soulmate, but there's maybe something been blocking you. It's like you felt a little bit like in perhaps a denser energy, or like a bit in the dark, like you've been kept in the dark around something, or like something just isn't clear, like you haven't got a clear pathway to it. And you feel kind of lost around this situation. I feel like it's like you're in the forest and you're lost, and there's no, it's like dark and you can't see your way, and you don't know what's like where you're meant to go or what you're meant to do, or like where your person is what I'm getting. It's kind of like you're wandering around this forest, like trying all these little different pathways. I'm sort of getting a vibe of someone who is on online dating or something and trying to meet someone that way, or through like a sort of conventional means of dating, like a something where you can kind of control it, or where you can like plug in, say like a dating profile, I guess, and you can put what sort of person you want, and you've got a sort of set idea of what you want, and you're kind of trying to go about it like in a sort of, it's like you're attached to that way, because with that detach and going with the flow, there's a strong message coming through from your guides to release and relinquish and surrender control over this situation, and just like allow them to come through. With this simplicity card with the feather, it's like this feather is just floating, right? It's like, it's just so light. It's so like, whew, kind of like floating to you. And I kind of feel like this is like spirit trying to send your person down. Like this could be, they're kind of saying like this could be very simple if you're able to relinquish any, say, rigid ideas around like what your person should look like, or how this should come about, or how you should meet them. Because I feel like with the forest, there's this the energy of the forest is where potentially if you're able to just surrender to the magic of the forest, and surrender to the fact that it's dark and that you can't see where you're going and that you don't know what your path is, if you really embrace that, it's like you'll start to feel intuitively, the path will start to open up intuitively as to where you're meant to go next. Yeah, because with Divine Mother and Shekinah flow, Divine Mother and Shekinah, this is that divine feminine energy. And you've got a lot of purple on your particular Two of Cups card, which is linked with the third eye chakra, which is all about intuition, inner perception, that sort of, ability to kind of, sixth sense energy, the ability to like sense into how something should be, or like to sense what is the best path for you, or to sense intuitively the best direction to go in. But I feel like something's been kind of keeping you in the dark and blocking you from your intuition. And there's sort of like an attachment to something. There's an attachment to maybe you're attached to someone else, you're attached to a person that isn't quite the right person, or you're attached to a certain way or a certain path of meeting someone. Perhaps you've been brought up in a traditional culture or something. Maybe you're from a culture where like your family are the people that would normally like arrange a marriage or something. You might be from a culture where it's normally like arranged for you, and so you've felt pressured into some sort of like arrangement, or you maybe just have some conditioning or strong ideas around like a certain like path of how you're going to meet them, or like, you know, say, you know, what age your person's going to be, or like what they should look like, or what they should do for a living, or something like that. And there's kind of this need to like surrender, detach, release any strong ideas around how you're going to meet them, or, you know, like what path you're going to, like how you can kind of make it happen is what I'm getting. I sort of get the vibe of someone who's out there dating and trying to like go down all these paths and trying to sort of check out all these people. And it's not to say there's anything wrong with that. Like, it means you're kind of open to meeting someone, but there's just this feeling coming through of like, the more attached you are and the more you're trying to go down a path, or the more you're trying to make something work, the less easy it's going to be for you. Like with that simplicity card, it's like your guides are trying to say like, this soulmate relationship or this connection is really can come to you so easily, and like in such a simple way. Like it can just be like delivered to you, like this feather just floating down. Like this person can just suddenly come into your life if you're like open intuitively to where you're being guided, I guess, and detached from how the outcome should look, and detached from what sort of person you're meant to be with. So let's have a look at like what you're meant to what you can do to help align with your soulmate. So we've got some, if you hear some strange groaning noises in the background, that is the dog Heidi that I'm dog sitting for, so she's just agreeing. So we've got imagination, card number 15. Let your dreams take flight. Yeah, I feel like this is kind of saying like let something take flight. It's like you're kind of stuck maybe on the ground trying to do something in a traditional way, or in a like, okay, well, if I just do this and then I do that and then I can meet this person and then and it'll happen like this. And it's kind of, there's a sense of sort of, yeah, attachment or control, or like need or something. And with that, like, let something take flight, I'm given the vision of, you know how you often hear, like, if you love something, let it go, and if it comes back to you, it's yours. It's kind of like that. It's like, and it's interesting, this card is coming out under your particular Two of Cups, where we've got this person hugging this person really tightly from behind. It's like they're really holding on. So it's like maybe you've been really holding on to either a particular person that you think is your soulmate, or a particular type of person you think is your soulmate, or the best person for you, or a type of way of meeting the person that you think is your soulmate. And the universe wants you to detach from that and let go, because that energy, that tight energy, that holding on energy, is blocking the very thing that you're trying to hold on to from coming to you. There's a need to let it go, to release it, to let it take flight, to like still honor that you want it. It's not to not have the desire for it. It's just to not like hold on to how it's going to look or how it's going to play out. Because with letting it take flight, and we've got this owl here with the wings just outspread, and there's just these kind of like beautiful dreams that are kind of just being let go, like being sent. It's like the dream that you have, if you can let go of how it's going to happen, if you can trust and surrender to how it might come about, the universe can just send this dream down to you. Like you can then receive it. You know, it's that, again, it's that feminine energy of being in an energy of going with the flow, of being receptive to what, you know, what is coming to you. Now, I don't mean when I say that being like, there's still a need to be discerning. Like, going with the flow doesn't necessarily mean like, hey, you just drop all your boundaries and just like, you know, woohoo, any old person who comes in like, hey, yeah, like, come live with me or something, you know, like, no, it's kind of like having the specific dream that you might have for a type of love relationship that you really are craving and yearning for, honoring that you have that desire, then letting it go, like letting it, like, sort of, I set this free, this desire free. I set it, I release it to the universe, I release it to my guides, I release it to my person's guides, and I trust that when we're meant to be brought together in whichever magical synchronistic way we're meant to be brought together, right? Because I feel like with that forest, it's like, you don't know how this is going to come about, and you're not meant to. Like, you can't control the path to how you're going to meet this person. You can't make the path. You don't know the path. The forest is all about the unknown. It's like, you've got to allow the magic to just happen. You've got to allow the universe to do its work. You've got to be in that feminine state of receptivity. Now, when I say feminine, I'm speaking about energy, not about gender. So you can identify as anything. It doesn't matter. It's just about being in that receptive energy, that open energy, and going with the flow and allowing, you know, like allowing your dreams to be there, but not holding on to them or how they need to happen. It's like, you can know the what of your dream, but you're not meant to know the how. So let go of that. Like, let it take flight. Like, just let it go. I kind of want to like this. It's like your guides want to, I'm just getting this strange visual of you, like your hands are gripping onto something. It's like, or your arms are gripping onto something. It could be a particular person. So there may be a need to really let go if you're trying to hold on to someone that you think or believe is maybe meant to be a soulmate connection. There's a real need to let go of them and just trust that if they are, they will come back to you. And if not, the universe will replace them with someone so much better. Next, we have Rose without thorns. You have a right to your joy, peace, and sweetness of life. Yeah, so in terms of like being able to align with this soulmate, there's a need for you to get into the vibration. Whoops, sorry, I bumped the camera. Get into the vibration of really enjoying your life and like yourself and where you're at on this journey. The fact that you're in this forest and you're lost, like, just enjoy where you are. Just release and relinquish the control. Don't worry about the outcome. Detach from the outcome. Feel peace with where you're at right now. Peace is very important. And notice like the sweetness of other things in your life and other, like, how you might be able to get love in other forms. Like, really acknowledging and feeling gratitude for love from other people around you. Feeling grateful for, you know, other facets of your life, feeling a sense of like, yeah, like kind of acknowledging the sweetness that is already a part of your life and not needing to control like, okay, well, that can only come from a romantic relationship, or like, no, I'm only going to get joy and sweetness and like, you know, kind of, yeah, like fulfillment from a romantic partner. Or I'm only going to get it from this type of person, or I'm only going to get it if I look for it in this way. So there's just this need to like detach from all of that and surrender to where you're at and find peace in the stage of the journey that you're in, and allow it to unfold and evolve. Allow the path to just unfold magically on its own. Is the strong message that I'm getting. And I totally get how hard that is, and I totally get how frustrating that might be if you have been looking for quite a while, or you've been in the dating game for quite a while, or, you know, you have been trying really hard for quite a while, or you've been trying with a particular person for quite a while that you thought was sort of your soulmate. And this isn't to say, oh, they're not, or like you can't have that. The universe isn't saying that. It's just saying loosen your grip, loosen the grip on this, like relax the grip, relax the control, surrender to the mystery of it, surrender to the universe wanting to bring you all the love that you've been wishing for in a really like beautiful and synchronistic way. And finally we have beautiful, exactly, unconditional. Like unconditional love is coming for you, and the way to attract that kind of energy is to feel unconditional love for yourself right now in this moment where you're at, and know that like it doesn't have to come you don't have to wait to have the relationship to feel that love now. And in fact, if anything, it's like the way to manifest the soulmate, right? Or to manifest the unconditional loving relationship is to feel the vibration of the unconditional love from within. And that vibration magnetizes that energy to you. It's that whole thing of as within, so without, right? Until you're in a stage where you can feel, you can feel comfortable in your own skin and like surrendered to the mystery, comfortable with the uncomfortable, comfortable with the unknown, comfortable with all parts of yourself, detached from any sort of specific outcomes, until you can really like trust is what I'm hearing, self-trust, until you can really trust yourself and find that unconditional love and unconditional trust from within. That is the vibration and the energy you need to be in to then kind of magnetize this connection in. So let's get into the tarot cards and have a look at the energy of your person. So I'm going to actually clear these cards away, I think. So we have a clear slate. Okay, so we have got, to begin with, Ace of Coins. Yeah, so there's a new beginning coming in for you. We've got the Magician, beautiful, and Two of Swords with Obsidian. This is from the Crystal Magic Tarot deck, and so each of these cards have a crystal that's related. So with Ace of Coins, it's Moss Agate. With the Magician, it's Jade, and with Two of Swords, it's Obsidian. So some of those crystals may be helpful to connect with to help you kind of manifest this connection. This is quite interesting because the tarot cards, when I pulled them, were meant to be about your person and your person's energy. But what I'm strongly getting from these cards at the moment, as I'm channeling this through, is actually more to do with, it's sort of almost like more guidance for how you can manifest this connection. Because with the Magician, this is all to do with, like, as I was speaking about, as within, so without, as above, so below, like being able to manifest your life, manifest what you want in your life through, I guess, like your own kind of sense of inner power and inner magic, and like trusting that kind of magic to like unfold. This may also be that this is your person's energy as well. It could be a connecting energy too, in the sense that you both might be trying to manifest each other right now. So again, I'm kind of picking up a vibe that some of you may know this person and you're sort of trying to manifest each other, and it's like you already, it's like you already, maybe like it's already like done. It's on the 5D level or on the spiritual level is what I'm getting. It's like this is already kind of arranged kind of thing, and it's just a case of like bringing it down into the physical, which with that Ace of Coins, it's like there is this new beginning here. And coins is, you know, this is like Ace of Pentacles. And Pentacles is earth energy. It's about grounding something into the physical. So I feel like I'm going to move these around this way. It's like you have the ability to manifest this connection because it's kind of already like as above, and then you can bring it to below with the Ace of Coins. Like you have the ability to bring this vision or this like, yeah, this, what was that card? This dream, like this dream that you have, let it take flight. Like have that vision, have that dream for what you want, and then trust that you can manifest this. You can allow it to bring it into form in the physical. There is a new beginning in the actual physical realm for you. This Two of Cups connection, this soulmate is coming in. Like there's no two ways about it. Like it is going to happen for you. It's just surrendering to that. It's like knowing that it's going to happen. It's trusting that it's going to happen. It's trusting that you have the ability to manifest it and bring it in. With the Two of Swords, I feel like this is about, again, this is kind of that like self-trust thing. This could be two options. It could be that you might end up tossing up between two different people, like trying to work out, is my soulmate this person or that person? Like who's best for me or something. And I feel like because with Two of Swords, it talks about really going within and trusting your intuition. And I spoke about intuition with all the purple on this Two of Cups card. It's like you will intuitively know who the right person is for you. You will intuitively know if you are discerning and know how to trust yourself. You'll intuitively know who the universe is aligning with you that is your actual soulmate. It's like you won't, when the right person shows up, you won't have to second guess yourself. Like you won't have to try and figure it out is kind of what I'm getting. This is so interesting. This is not very much about your person at all, but maybe there's a reason for that. I feel like, I mean, it's going to be different for everyone, but I feel like for you, pile number one, because your guides really, really want you to trust and really want you to trust your intuition and go within and like know that you can bring this about. And like because they wanted you to be able to surrender to this, like the forest energy, it's like they don't want to tell you they don't want to tell you anything about your person. It's like you've got to trust that when you meet them, you can bring this into the physical. Now this could be kind of saying like your person has this energy, like they are a strong manifestor, they're very powerful, they have the ability to like manifest things in their lives, they're maybe very good with money or with their finances. They might be like an entrepreneur as well, with that like person's hand holding up the coin and then all the sort of plants around it. It's like they have the ability to kind of like grow money or grow things on the material realm. Like they're quite good with like creating things, like creating a business or something. Yeah, that could be that, but I almost feel like with this Two of Swords, it's like there's something around you needing to trust, because the Two of Swords is like feeling sometimes a sense of confusion or feeling split between two different paths or two different options, or like what your logical mind is telling you versus your heart, or what, you know, again, this could be talking about, as I spoke about with the forest, like where a conventional path is leading you versus like where the forest is leading you, which is further into your sort of intuition, right? Further into that like kind of sense of like mystery and the unknown, and I just have to release control, and like I don't know how this is going to turn out, or I don't know how this person's going to come about, but I just have to trust and surrender that they will. That's kind of the overall message I get for you, pile number one. So I'm going to leave your reading there, but finish up with a daily rituals card just to see if there's some final guidance for you to take with you. Woo, where was it? I lost it. Here we go. Healing. Beautiful. I am healing from the inside out. Yeah, there was a lot around sort of like as above, so below, as within, so without, like feeling, I think I spoke about with the unconditional love card, feeling that unconditional love from within. So maybe some healing around like, yeah, your heart chakra, because this card is green, which is related to the heart chakra. So healing anything related to some old love wounds or anything, or related to like any expectations that might have been disappointed in the past or something. But yeah, healing from the inside out. So trusting that like how you're feeling within is going to be what you're going to then manifest on the outside. So if you haven't been able to manifest this soulmate connection yet, it's a reflection of how you're feeling within and where you're at in your healing journey within. But I do feel like this person is definitely coming, and it's just a case of like doing not like endless amounts of healing work, but just enough to like get to a point where you can loosen that grip a little bit and not sort of put all that energy into or all that expectation, I guess, like piling a lot of expectation into a partnership needing to give you everything that you're looking for in your life, because they're drawing my attention to this card again about the peace and sweetness of life, and like feeling that sense of like unconditional love from within, feeling that sense of like sweetness, noticing the sweetness that is in your life, like doing things to generate sweetness for yourself, doing things to like care for yourself and love yourself, and then, you know, from there, boom, like you can manifest anything. Like you'll manifest on the outside like how you're feeling from within. Okay, my lovely pile number ones, I feel like that's all the messages I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards, and for those of you who have been commenting below, I so appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to hit the like button if you have enjoyed this reading and it resonated. It helps tell me which content you guys are enjoying and helps send my videos around the YouTube algorithm, which helps my new channel to grow. And hit the subscribe button if you're not already, and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. Thank you so much again for being here. All my love, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye. Hi there, pile number 2. If you chose this 2 of Cups card from the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot, this will be your reading on you will have union with this soulmate in your life. So pile number 2, we're going to start off, in case you didn't listen to the intro, the first cards are going to be on what is currently blocking you from like manifesting or aligning with this union, and then we're going to take a look at what you can do to like align with the union, and then we're going to have a look at the energies of your dynamic. Okay, so we have got Healing Chaos, the Fault Line, and Amethyst and Passion Flower with Violet Flame, Transmuting, Breaking Addictions, and Nervous System. So these are the cards related to the blocks, and I'll come back to your other cards in a moment. So pile number 2. Wow, interesting. I'm just noticing how like the Fault Line and the Cyclone on this card are kind of the same angle. Like I feel like there's something in your life that's been quite chaotic. You've maybe been in a period of a bit of chaos, or you've been in a period where something's been it's like there's a lot of kind of natural disaster energy here, like with the cyclone, and then with this like earthquake, like a fault line, like maybe literally you've been through some kind of like natural disaster in where you live, so your home life has been really disruptive or very chaotic or something. But for some of you, I feel like with the transmuting, breaking addictions, and then the fault line can speak about like where there's been some sort of foundation that is like not strong, like not healthy and not strong, and it's been like it's kind of breaking, right? Like you can see there's all these kind of cracks in the pavement. It's like someone's tried to lay a pavement down or lay a foundation down, and then it's like cracked and broken. So what's blocking you from aligning with this soulmate is possibly some kind of foundation that you had either you had laid for yourself or was laid for you in your childhood or something that has been potentially either very toxic or very chaotic, or very like maybe you dealt with you might be codependent, and by codependent I don't mean someone, it's that term has become to be used to replace anxious attachment, when actually the original meaning of codependent was someone who was the person that someone with an addiction depended on, so they were codependent. So that's the kind of energy I'm getting through from your pile, that some of you might have grown up codependent because you had parents or something with an addiction issue, or you grew up around a lot of addictive energies. And by addiction, we're not necessarily just talking about drugs. This could be alcohol addiction. This could be even just like, sort of love addiction issues. You might have had a parent model to you lack of proper care or nourishment or something, because they were so addicted to like a lot of dramatic and chaotic love relationships, and so they were kind of going out and like just trying to get that like love fix. It might look like someone who is just addicted to escaping, like through whatever means, like just watching TV continuously, or checking out, just genuinely checking out of life, something like that. And I feel like either this is something where you grew up with this and this was kind of a pattern, or this was kind of something that you had to be sort of codependent around. You had to kind of watch the people around you be very chaotic, or they were never able to give you a stable foundation, or there was just a lot of kind of addictive energy or substances around you or something. And so possibly how that might have been playing out in your life is that you may be in a pattern where you attract the same kind of chaotic people into your life, because often with that codependent dynamic, you can then sort of recreate being that, like the person that's the stable person, right? Like the person that's the good one, if you like, or the one that like kind of is there for the other person and like maybe cleans up after them, or like helps, just helps them deal with like everyday life stuff because they're so chaotic or something. So some of you may have gone that way, where you're the kind of the stable one, and you've been trying to like create a stable foundation for yourself, and you've done that to a certain extent, but you keep attracting partners who are perhaps a bit like the dynamic of something you grew up with, or you've gone the way of something that was modeled to you, or just even something that it's just something that as a result of whatever it is that happened in your childhood, maybe you suffered some kind of trauma. Trigger warning here, this could have been some kind of sexual trauma or something like that. Like I'm kind of seeing a vibe of someone a bit like, I'm hearing the story Wild by Cheryl Strayed. Some of you might be familiar with her story. So she was quite severely abused as a child. She also had, I think, an abusive alcoholic father, I believe. And she also had, I think, like sexual abuse from, I think it was a grandfather or something like that. And she went through a whole period, which she writes about in her book Wild, and it's in the film as well, of just, and also her mum dies as well. So again, fault line, right? Like massive foundational like cracks, like something huge from childhood that is just like this foundation that just gets totally pulled out from under her feet, and she just goes through this completely chaotic phase. And I don't say that as a like, oh my gosh, like Cheryl Stray was just like total chaos, like as a judgment, like it was a chaotic time for her, like, but also equally an amazingly transformative and transmuting, right, with the transmuting there and healing time, because she ended up going on that amazing hike through the Pacific Northwest and like, faced all her demons and kind of healed all her chaos. So I feel like that's kind of where you're at. You're in this phase now of healing some chaos, whether that's imposed from the outside because of other people in your life that was like kind of no fault of your own, or I mean, this isn't really about blame, but you know what I mean, like it was like the chaos was coming from external sources, and you've been trying to be like kind of get out of someone's like this. I'm kind of getting like a vibe of like a toxic cyclone, like someone trying to suck you into like, like how toxic energy can be very, like you can get sucked into it, like how a cyclone can just come and like destroy everything in its path and like pull things up. So some of you might have been through that. and you've been trying to find your feet again. Others of you, you may have well been through this, like creating this within your own life where you've been facing addiction things, or you've been facing like a lot of chaos from within, a lot of like uprooting yourself, or maybe some kind of foundation that's been pulled away, or some old patterns. But you're definitely going through a transmutation. You're going through a healing. You're going through some sort of false foundation, some sort of a like toxicity that you perhaps have from childhood being like pulled away from you, so that you can find your equilibrium again. Because with this particular Two of Cups, there's this man holding or figure holding, sorry, it's not actually, I don't know, it's a figure. It's a character holding these two scales, right? And they're, at the moment, they're a bit imbalanced. So like maybe in relationships you've often noticed perhaps patterns of imbalance where like you're doing a lot more than the other person or something. So again, with that like codependent dynamic, like someone else has been more dependent on you, like you've been holding most of the weight of it, you've been carrying most of the emotional burden of something. Or just generally in your life, like your life has been chaotic, or you've been dealing with a lot of emotional chaos, or a lot of uprooting, or moving around, or moving house, or having like foundations being pulled away from you, or you know, sort of we had nervous system, so nervous issues. So some of you could have had health issues and had a lot of like chaotic energy like internally within your body that you've been trying to heal. And you're trying to write that, you're trying to heal that, you're trying to find that balance, that equilibrium again, so that you can come into balance and attract like the right type of person, like a reciprocal partner who's not going to like depend on you, or have some sort of toxic pattern or something. It's going to be kind of more like healthy and have a sense of balance. So let's get into what you can do to align with this healthy and balanced soulmate. So first up, we have direction. Where are you heading? Yeah, I feel like for some of you, if you have been in this chaotic phase, getting clear on where you're going is going to be a big sort of vibrational energy to be in, that will help bring this soulmate to you. Because once you've healed some of the disruption in your life, or some of the chaos in your life, and you've got really clear on where you're heading in your own life, on like where you want to go, that's when the right person will come in. Because you're kind of like moving, because with the horse, this is symbolic of like movement and progress and forward movement. I'm getting sort of Sagittarius energy. So maybe some of you are Sagittarius, or you might have your partner, your soulmate may well be Sagittarius. But like, there's an energy of once you're heading in the right direction, once you've sort of started healing this chaos and getting clear on your own direction, that's when you'll magnetize your person in. Next, we have beautiful, the sacred union, beloved within inner and outer relationships. Yeah, I spoke about this a little bit in pile number 1, in terms of like the vibration that you have within being so important to attracting your soulmate. And this is very much what Kuan is about. You know, it's that whole concept of like, the more self-love you have, and the more self-compassion you have, and the more of a sense of unity you have within, and like sense of self-respect, and like honoring your own values and honoring the direction that you're going in, the more you can then manifest that mutual person on the outside, that mate for your soul on the outside, that's going to match the vibration, the love that you feel for yourself from within. Because if you're still in this stage of like kind of this sort of dark energy that's up here, this whirly energy, where you're maybe still a bit imbalanced in your life, or there's kind of some like addiction issues going on, or like instability going on within your life, it's like whatever toxicity and negative like sort of vortex of feeling you have for yourself from within, whatever your relationship to your own self is going to be what's going to manifest on the outside. And I don't, I mean, this is a general reading, so you're all going to be at a different stage on the spectrum, but I feel like most of you are taking the steps to heal this. And the more you can keep going in that direction of healing that, and healing that sort of addiction, or healing any kind of toxicity or abuse from your past, and creating a stable foundation for yourself, creating a healthy foundation for yourself, creating a healthy, strong sense of self-love and a sense of like inner union, and really like a sense of like feeling that connection to the beloved within, then that will manifest on the outside for you. And then last we have psychic. Ooh, so yeah, with violet flame and psychic, there's a lot of like purple third eye chakra kind of energy here. So some of you may well have a very like open third eye. You may be very psychic already, or very intuitive, or maybe especially as a result of kind of trying to manage chaos in your home as a child, right? Like trying to manage traumatic people around you, or toxic people around you. One of the gifts that sort of woke up in you, right, was a sense of that psychic sense, because quite often in trauma, what happens is, in order for the child to protect itself, it becomes super adept, right, at like it kind of sort of creates the perfect storm, the perfect environment for the child to like develop like super gifts in order to manage the chaos that's going on around them. So you may well actually end up being like finding that like you have these incredible psychic gifts, or you may already know, or you may already use these incredible psychic gifts. And that's kind of something that's like come about as a result, like once you're able to transmute the pain and the chaos and you know what caused that from you know your foundation or your childhood or past relationships or something, then you're able to like use that as a gift for yourself. It might even be the direction that you're heading in. This could also speak of like you will see when your person is coming in, like you will know intuitively who they are. You'll know when they're coming in. You'll be able to maybe sense them. You'll have a sixth sense connection with them. You'll have a like telepathic or very intuitive connection with them. Like you'll be able to kind of feel their energy depending on like how you pick up your psychic sense, right? Like everyone is a little bit different. Like you might be more clairvoyant, so you might kind of see visions of it. You might be more clairaudient, so you might hear their voice inside your head. You might be clairsentient, so you might feel their energy before they even come into your life. So some of you may have already been feeling this person, and this person may also be giving you like intuitive wisdom and intuitive knowledge around how to heal, so that you two can kind of align together. Oh, that's so sweet. It's like that kind of their higher self is like working on the outside to kind of help you feel, to help you feel them from within, like help you feel that sense of like them as a beloved already within you. Because when you can really like tap into their energy and feel that, then like they will come in because you'll be in the right vibration. And I'm getting as well with this Two of Cups, it's like this is kind of your energy and this is your person, and they like, this is sort of you on the like your higher selves, if you like your person's higher self is like looking out for you like completely. So even if you feel like you don't know who they are, or like the universe has forgotten you or abandoned you, or like, you know, why haven't you met them yet or something, it's like your person's higher self already knows who you are, and they're already looking out for you and already like sending you like psychic information, if you like, or like little nudges, or like little pieces of like signs or something like that. And like the more you can kind of feel their energy from within, the more you can kind of like magnetize that connection in. So let's have a look at your tarot cards to see a bit more about what the dynamic is going to be like. I'm so intrigued to get into this because I feel like your person has such like sweet, caring energy. And I love that, like this is, I just really feel, oh, and I just saw 44 on the clock. And fours are all about foundations. Like I'm just kind of getting, you know, Four of Wands energy, right? Which is often to do with like, you know, creating a beautiful foundation for someone. It can speak of marriage. So I feel like the soulmate is someone that you're going to potentially marry, if that's something that you want in your life, or just create a really stable foundation with. And it's going to really heal the chaos that you had maybe in your childhood, or maybe in previous relationships, or you know, or just within, you know, however it's sort of that chaos is manifest in your life, this person's going to really, really help heal that. Like there's a certain amount of healing that we can do on our own, you know, as spiritual practitioners, and, you know, as you go through awakening and so forth, especially if it is like healing sort of deep things such as addictions, or like, you know, ancestral patterns with addictions can be really sticky and really heavy. And there's a certain point you can come to with your healing process that you can do by yourself. But then I feel like at some point, once you start to get to a certain point on the healing journey, the universe is going to step in and give you this person, this soulmate is going to come in to help just do that last little bit of healing, to help you like see your, not like necessarily see your self-worth, but like help you feel more of a sense of like self-worth from within. I do feel like it will be quite a spiritual connection. There's a lot of like white with these two scales, and white is connected with the crown chakra, which is all about like connecting with the divine or connecting with your higher self. So let's get into the tarot. So first up, we have 9 of Wands. Yeah, so actually this card I feel like is to do with like where this, like the trajectory of where your connection is at the moment, because I feel like this might be you being a little bit glum, like, oh my goodness, like I have been waiting so long for this person, like where are they, like why isn't it here yet? I've been kind of battling through so much, I've been healing so much, I'm tired, like I'm just gonna sit down here and like kind of feel a little bit, it can kind of speak of like you might feel a little bit defeated, but actually like you've still got one wand left. Like you've still got one final step before you get to the 10 of Wands, which is the completion of the cycle. So I kind of feel like this might be about your healing journey, like that chaos or those addictions or whatever it is you've been working to try and transmute. It's like there's like one step to go. There's just one more step to go. And it's just that self-love piece that will help bring things into balance a little bit more so that you can connect with your person. It's like they're really not far away is what I'm getting with the 9 of Wands. It's like you're so close to reaching that end of the cycle. But it's also important to kind of like acknowledge if you need to kind of take a rest from healing and stuff. Sometimes it can be very exhausting and very intense, and you know, you're not gonna, the guidance I'm getting through is like you're not going to miss your person. Like there's no rush here. There's no sense of like you've got to get your healing completed by X date, or like it's too late, your person's going to meet someone else. Like no, like they are meant for you. You know, you can't miss them is what I'm getting. So next we've got 5 of Cups. Yeah, I feel like this is kind of echoing the 9 of Wands. And again, this is more about your energy, which is funny because these cards were meant to be about your person. But what's coming through is this is more to do with you. And I feel like this is, you know, to do with, you might have had quite a lot of emotional disappointment with these 3 cups that are like pointing downwards. Like the liquid, the emotion, if you like, the investment has kind of fallen out of them. So something that you previously invested in the past has, you know, you had to let something go, or you lost out on something. And again, that could be because of like, you know, those issues I spoke about at the beginning was what's blocking you from your soulmate, issues with chaos, or like, you know, maybe some of these people you invested in, they were like, you know, addicts or something like that, or there were sort of addictive patterns within your connection or something that were just like, they weren't meant to be, essentially. Like they were part of your journey. It's not to say they weren't meant to be, like you were never meant to meet them and you went the wrong way. No, it's just kind of like they weren't meant to last. You know, sometimes people come into our lives for a short season rather than forever. And these 3, perhaps you had 3 previous connections, or sort of various things that you've invested in the past that you had to let go of, that have been emotionally disappointed and made you feel a bit defeated on this journey. It's like they weren't your final 2 of Cups. Like, you know, you do have a 2 of Cups still waiting for you. Usually in the Rider-Waite tarot, it has a figure standing overlooking like 3 cups that are spilt out, and behind him are 2 cups that are facing upright. And it's that whole thing of like, if he just turns around, he will see the 2 cups that are waiting for him, but he's like focused on what he's lost. So you know, the guidance is kind of like, don't look too much to the past, don't look too much to like the dynamics that you've previously created. Like, you are on a healing journey. This new soulmate is not going to be the same dynamic. I feel like they are very healing for you, rather than like maybe previous connections have been quite toxic or hurtful, or depleted you or drained you, maybe especially of like potentially resources or just energy. Because again, with that Nine of Wands, it can feel like you've been through a battle, right? Like you've been, you know, kind of fighting people, or like there's just always been this battle to like get your needs met or something, or to get the emotional fulfillment that you deserve. And like, that's not going to be this connection. Like, you have got this Two of Cups coming, and it's going to be this beautiful, emotionally fulfilling thing. And also the other thing I'm getting through is with all these yellow flowers, this is connected with the solar plexus chakra, which is all about like shining your light, you know, expressing your authentic self, stepping into your power. Yeah, just like being comfortable, being like the beautiful soul that you are, and just like putting yourself out there in the world, being like, yeah, a beacon of light. So again, I'm getting that like the light, like the spiritual light, like there's a lot of white light coming out of these cups. So I feel like this is going to be, and also the light that is coming out of these cups is pointing downwards. Like, connections that you previously might have thought were soulmates are like, nope, like you need to let those go, because this true soulmate is coming in, and they are like kind of very aligned. Like, they're very like yeah, it's like that there's this, yeah, sorry, I'm just being drawn to the number 5. There's going to be a change in how this particular dynamic goes down compared with your previous dynamics. Like, this is going to really like turn things around. Like, you're just going to have this beautiful like spiritual connection. This person is very like aligned with their higher self. Like I said, like your person's higher self is really looking out for you and kind of protecting you in the sort of 5D realm, if you like, or in the spiritual realm. Oh, that's so beautiful. Even if you don't feel like you can hear them or feel them yet, like, just trust that they are there. And if you're really like relaxed, you'll be able to kind of feel their energy coming through. And lastly, we have Karma for the Monarch. So yeah, this is linked with the Emperor in the traditional tarot. So your person, this is your person's energy. I feel like they are an absolute emperor in the best sense, though. Like, I'm not getting a kind of like emperor like dominating in a negative sense type of way. I'm just getting an emperor in like a strong, capable, like they have a lot of sovereignty within themselves. They you know, can handle their life. They're very healthy, very strong, very powerful, with that like tiger here. They have that sort of presence, that command, that like self-respect, and other people respect them. There's also a lot of butterflies on this card, and butterflies are symbolic of rebirth. So that your person might have well gone through quite a similar spiritual journey to you. They might have gone through quite a rebirth where, you know, they kind of let go of an old self, like a sort of caterpillar self. Like, maybe that caterpillar self also had some addiction things, right? Or something, and they've like blossomed into this beautiful butterfly. And yeah, and I also get that like because I feel like they have maybe gone through that journey, they may also help you to like go through that yourself. Like, if you're still on your healing journey, and of course these things are kind of cyclical, right? Like, it's not a linear process where it's like, you know, you do it for a year or something, and then boom, hello, I get a healing certificate. I'm totally healed, 100%. Like, I reached the top, da-da, I'm done. Like, it's finished. I'm perfect forever. No, it's like, you know, these things are like layered, right? And they're cyclical, and there can be more and more things that we sort of work through as we go through those deeper layers. And I don't want to kind of say that to anyone to kind of freak you out or make you feel like your life is just going to be this endless healing process. Because I feel like for most of you listening to this, you've already done a lot of work to heal yourselves, and you're already taking responsibility for that. But like I said, when I was speaking about this card, it's like there's a certain process of healing that you can only go so far on your own, and then at some point you're going to need someone else to come in and help reflect certain things to you to help transmute some other stuff that might be a little bit hidden. And you will get to that stage on your journey where it's like the universe will recognize where you've got to with your own self-healing and then be like, okay, part two's ready now. Like, boom, there's your emperor. Like, here we go. Like, here's your person. And they're going to help you with that like final stage of kind of like coming out of the cocoon and spreading your wings. Oh, this is so beautiful. I love this energy. I love your person's energy. I'm getting like really fierce vibes. I feel like they're going to be very protective of you. I feel like this is kind of like your energy. They're going to help you step into your sovereignty. And like, this is them kind of in front of you, like being this fierce tiger. Like, no one messes with my pile number two. Like, no one messes with my person. Like, you know, it's, yeah, like, also with the orange color here, I'm getting like sacral chakra energy, which is all about like passion and creativity and like sensuality and like that fire and that like zest for life and that like sexual passion. So I feel like you're going to have a very strong connection in that regard. Yeah, I'm not going to go into too much more detail because this is a general reading, so there may be young ears listening, but you get the drift. Hopefully it's gonna be fiery. It's gonna be fiery. I will leave it there. So I'm gonna finish up with a daily ritual card for you guys to see what we can leave you with. What can we leave pile two with in terms of, whoa, oh my goodness. Okay, that's 1 second. It's flown across the other side of the room. Wow, this one really wanted to come out. Wow, I love this. Joyfulness. Card number 19. Today I bask in the energy of joy. I love this. I love this for you, pile number two. I feel like, you know, even if you've been through an absolute battle in your life, and I do feel like you have been through some tough stuff that no one should have to go through, but the more you can. And I feel like you're kind of already in this energy already. You're getting really good at embracing like the things that bring you joy in life. But the more you can do that, the more you'll align with the right energy to bring this person in. And also this relationship, I feel like, is going to bring you a lot of joy as well. And again, we've got all the yellow, which again, I spoke about with the solar plexus and shining your light, shining your inner sun. And we've got this woman with their hands up to the sun here. So yeah. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Oh, I could bask in your energy and your person's energy all day, part number two, but I've got to go and film the other reading, so I'm going to leave your reading there. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. Please leave a comment below if this resonated. I always love to hear from you, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you who has been doing that. Don't forget to hit the like button because it helps tell me what content is resonating with you guys and tells the YouTube algorithm to send my videos around, which helps my baby channel to grow. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already, and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. Thank you so much again for letting me read for you today. All the best with your soulmate journey, and I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye. Hi there, pile number three. Welcome to your reading. If you chose this Two of Cups card from the Everyday Witch Tarot, this will be your reading on you will have union with this soulmate in your life. So just in case you didn't listen to the introduction, the first row I'm going to be pulling some cards on any kind of illusions or blocks that you may have at the moment that may be stopping you or blocking you from aligning with this soulmate. And then we're going to take a look at what you can do to align with this relationship and call it in. And then we're going to take a little look at the energies of what your relationship's going to be like, the dynamic, and a little bit more about your person. So let's start off with any kind of blocks that you've got. So we've got the Shaman straight off the back, card number 16 from the Archetypes deck. We have got Fulgurite and Rosebay Willow Herb with regeneration, acceleration, change, and shamanic wisdom. So we've got a double message about shamanic kind of stuff going on here. And we have got the Fertile Void, Inner Winter, Rest, Patience, Potency, and Secret Beginnings. Okay, so pile number three. The energy that I'm getting for you for what may have been blocking you from connecting with this soulmate so far, or being able to call this in, is you're undergoing a huge like death and rebirth process, and there's literally nothing that you can do to rush this process, to speed it up, to accelerate it, as it says here, acceleration, change, shamanic wisdom. It's like you can't kind of control the acceleration or the speed at which this awakening or this healing or this like cycle, this sort of death and rebirth cycle happens. It's just got to happen of its own accord. It's got to essentially like go through its season, because within a winter there and like rest and patience, the energy I'm getting is like, you know, at winter it can look a bit like, if you look around at nature, at all the trees and everything, like everything is bare, like, you know, nothing is blossoming, nothing is in bloom, and it just kind of looks like everything is dead. And I kind of get the vibe that some of you might be feeling like that about your love life, or about like, you know, kind of sort of when is this soulmate relationship going to come in or something. Like you might just feel like as if like, because you're not seeing any evidence in the 3D and you haven't maybe met this person yet or something, it's just like, it feels like winter when it feels like everything is kind of dead, like nothing is going on the surface, like there's just no movement, there's nothing's evolving. Maybe you feel a bit like forgotten or like left out or something. Like you're sort of just going through this long like hibernation, or kind of being like sort of kept, yeah, kind of like kept underground, or kept like back from, you know, say, I guess, being able to be in relationships. Maybe some of you have done that of your own accord. You've just internally felt like, okay, yep, you know what, this is sort of a winter period in my life. I need to go through some time out. I need to like stop dating people. I seem to be attracting the wrong person or something. And I just saw 333 on the clock. And in numerology, that adds up to the number 9, which is to do with like independence, and to do with like being in your own like sort of personal sovereignty, or like going on your own journey, doing something just your own way. You know, it makes me think of like the 9 of Cups in tarot, which is like kind of finding emotional fulfillment through other things that aren't a relationship. It's kind of like getting all your cups, kind of all your ducks laid, you know, like ducks in a row, like everything else kind of taken care of, sort of thing, before like a relationship or a connection can come in. And I feel like for you, pile number 3, this is, and it's interesting, you're pile number 3, and I just saw 333. So yeah, there's a reason for that. The number 3 could be quite significant. You're going through a real transition, a real shift, a real like healing process, a shedding of a sort of old self, if you like, because with the snake here, you know, this is symbolic of snakes go through a rebirth process. They shed their old skin, right? They literally rebirth, like from within. They can just rebirth a new snake. And you're kind of going through that. It's a shedding of the old. It's a shedding of old ways of being. It's a letting go of maybe like skeletons in the closet, or like old relationships maybe. And we've got, interesting again with the number 3, we have 3 skulls here. So there could have possibly been 3 previous relationships that you had that didn't work out, like 3 deaths, like 3 things that died, or like there's just 3, it could be like 3 maybe like phases that you've been going through. It's like kind of stages of awakening, and you're going through like a 3rd stage of awakening here with this like shamanic awakening, where you're really waking up very powerfully to like your own wisdom, because we've got shamanic wisdom here, and potency as well. So there's something to do with like needing to go through a sort of a death and rebirth process so that you can wake up to your own power. We've got all these lightning bolts, sort of lightning striking, kind of coming down on this regeneration card. So there's like a need to regenerate, and I feel like maybe it's because you've gotten a little bit stuck in some habits, or something has been a bit stagnant in your life, or like you've been attracting a certain kind of person and that hasn't been working out. And so you're undergoing like this sort of shamanic awakening, or this like regenerating. You're going through this like very potent regenerating time that is going to align you more powerfully with like a much stronger, much more powerful, much more potent version of yourself, like a new identity, a new you is going to be, like I said with the snake, rebirthed like out of the old snake kind of thing. Like you're just like literally kind of like shedding this old skin. And I feel like with the shaman card, you can see this person's hand outstretched, and I feel like this is your soulmate. Like their hand is kind of already waiting for you. Like the connection between you is kind of already established. It's like you may feel them on the other side. You might be quite connected with, like, you know, the kind of like their higher self or something, like connected with feeling their energy in some way. And I feel like once you've gone through this regeneration and this awakening and stepping into your power even further, you'll be able to connect with them even more strongly and feel their energy even more strongly. But like at the moment, you're kind of like, you're being kept back. It's like their hand is out, but you're kind of down here going through this shamanic awakening. It's like you've got to go through this like death and rebirth before you can kind of come and meet them and like join with them, sort of thing. It's like you've got to shed. See, you can see there's 3 skulls standing in the way. It's like these old things, these old, whether it's like, I'm hearing for some of you, this could be like family stuff, like, you know, people in your life, like siblings or, you know, parents or caregivers, or like, you know, standing for 3 different things, like, you know, your schooling, your religion, and your family life, or like, you know, 3 different friends or something like that. There's just something around some kind of like death and rebirth around like things that have been standing in the way of you stepping into your true power, things that have been standing in the way of you being as like being able to shine your light properly, like being able to step into like the fullness of who you really are. Because we've got this like golden ball as well. It's like these 3 skulls, these 3 old things that are having to die and be let go of, are like standing in the way of you claiming your worth, claiming your like your light and shining your light in some way. And there's like a big change. They're drawing my attention to the word change. There's a big change that needs to happen, a big shift, a big like you're going to, I feel like you're just going to go through this. Like it is just going to be an awakening. With the snake, this is often symbolic of like literally a kundalini awakening, like where your Shakti or your like divine feminine energy or kundalini energy or chi energy or however you want to see it, it like awakens, right? It's like, you know, the snake is symbolic of that kundalini energy that is situated in the base of your spine. And then as it awakens, it like goes through all the different chakras. So right from the root chakra all the way through to the crown chakra. And then you have this like crown chakra awakening, which aligns you with your higher self. And I feel like for many of you, like you're kind of, some of you might be sitting there being like, duh, I'm like already totally awake. Like I've already been through my awakening. And you may well have, but like awakening is cyclical. And also you awakening to like a deeper power. Like there's like an identity or like an old identity that just needs to shift so that you can be more who you really are and like even more kind of powerful or potent or like awake or something. There's something around with this, like coming back to the whole in a winter concept where you might be feeling like on the outside, nothing is happening whilst you undergo this sort of awakening process. And it might feel quite like a winter, you know, period in your life. Like I said, some of you might be going through that where you've taken yourself into that voluntarily. And some of you might have been dragged into that kicking and screaming where you're like, what's going on? Like, I want to date people. I want to get out there. I want to meet my soulmate. And like, I want to have this beautiful connection. And like, your spirit guides are like, no, you need to go through this like intensive death and rebirth and shamanic awakening first before you can kind of get to that point. And you're just like, what? Like, you know, where like it might just look like everything's gone really dead in your life on the outside. Maybe some of you have even been pulled away from friendships, or like you might have lost a lot of people in your life or something like that. It's like everything seems very cold maybe around you, or like very like, I'm kind of getting a vibe of like not getting much access to love. And that's because like in winter, the trees are not really dead. They look like they are on the outside because there's no growth, but underneath, like they're regenerating, right? They're going through a very necessary, very potent process of regenerating where they're letting go of anything that isn't serving, which, you know, happens, I guess, over the autumn period, if you like, resting and then regenerating their energy and like being able to like reconnect with all the nutrients and everything in the soil so that come spring, everything can start to bloom again. It's like a cycle or like a necessary season. You're in a necessary season in your life where things are just going to be you're going to be put to rest. So rest is really highlighted here. So maybe you may need more rest at the moment as you go through this process. There's a need to be patient. Unfortunately, I know some of you might just be like, oh my goodness, like more patience is required of me. But like, trust me, I do feel like the patience will be paid off. Like it will be worth it. Like it will so be worth it. And I just saw 222 on the clock, which adds up to 6, which in 6 in numerology is often a number speaking of soulmates. It makes me think of like the 6 of Cups in tarot, which is a soulmate card. So it's like your soulmate is like the reward at the end of this like intensive process. And also with secret beginnings, I feel like this is kind of where like in secret, like even though you don't feel like you can see this or you may not be able to sense this fully yet, but like the universe is kind of behind the scenes, like secretly like working out the like orchestrating the ways that you two can kind of come together once you've kind of gone through your like shedding skin, and like, yeah, like going through this big shift and this kind of big awakening. So let's have a look at what you need to do to align with this connection. And first up, we've got intuition, inner wisdom. Yeah, beautiful. This is a really shamanic card actually from the Goddess Dream Oracle. So it fits in really well with this whole shamanic theme we've got going on. Because I feel like this woman is kind of like very like in her shamanic power. She's very connected with the other side. She's connected with her wisdom as demonstrated by the owl. So I feel like after you go through this awakening, you're going to have so much potent wisdom within yourself to like understand and see like so many things about like yourself, about relationships, about like why things have happened a certain way, like the healing that you had to go through, the like path that you had to go through. It's like that whole like you can never connect the dots forwards, only backwards. And it's like once you've gone through this huge awakening, you know, and had all this like shamanic wisdom kind of come through from like the other side, it's like you'll get all these downloads or all this like beautiful wisdom that will be available to you about like yourself, to be able to really see yourself really clearly, to be able to really see and own your own shadow really clearly. And by shadow, I don't mean like, oh, you've got like this shadowy past or like you've got this like shadow side to you. It's just like shadow in the sense of like there are parts of you that were like suppressed maybe during your childhood or teenage years or something that, you know, were authentic parts of your light, like these kind of the lightning, right? That's waking you up. It's like there were parts of your light that got dimmed or suppressed or like shut off or disassociated from yourself because other people, it made maybe other people around you uncomfortable or something like that. So it got put into your shadow. It got put into like a box, like put into like a subconscious part where you didn't have access to it. And that's why you're going through this kind of big awakening to like reconnect, reintegrate all these parts of you so that you're like fully in your potency, fully in your power again. Woo, it's really powerful energy. You are a very, very powerful soul, I feel like. And yeah, they're drawing my attention again to the fertile void. It's coming back to like, even though everything looks like this we've got a very sort of wintry aesthetic going on here in a way with the like kind of wintry forest. And I spoke about like, you know, you might feel like you're in this winter phase where all the trees are dead, but it's like, it is actually very fertile. This void time, this time where it looks like nothing is going on and you're being like meanly kept away from your soulmate and like pulled away from everyone in your life or something, you know, it's not to like make you feel hard done by or like kind of deliberately, maliciously block you from connecting with the person you're supposed to. It's so that it's a very important, very fertile time, so that you can like, it's like letting the soil become this very fertile ground so that you can grow. It's a much more fertile ground for you to be able to grow a much better relationship in the future, and like really understand yourself and those parts of your shadow, like I mentioned, that might have been suppressed. I'm just feeling called to read actually from the Well Done Knowing Archetypes book. I think I've got a bookmarked actually. I hope I do. Here it is. Yeah, the shaman. So okay, the shaman, the magi, the sorcerer, the medicine woman. 3 archetypal ingredients constitute the shaman, and all must be present in order to reveal its magic. First, the shaman is activated by long-standing and diligent study, the mentor. Second, its orientation is generously and accurately aimed toward the healing of the self, the other, and the culture, which is the healer. And third, the shaman has a knack for finding doorways to the other world, allowing psychic visions and old magic to leak into this world, the unseen. In this way, the shaman is a master who bridges the everyday and the sacred, revealing potent power. What did I say about like potent power, like awakening your power and like potency? Yeah, exactly. So revealing potent power needed desperately in our time. Yet where there is power, there is shadow. Oh my goodness, this is literally just confirming everything I've just been saying. I love that. Where there is power, there is shadow. So the shaman must be vigilant in studying their darkness. Yeah, that's what this is. It's you studying your shadow, studying your darkness, understanding it, embracing it. This card reminds us that the force of healing is ultimately not our own. We must shape it and share it with the world. Yeah. And that might well be something that you end up doing, but this is about a relationship reading, so I'm going to keep it in terms of like what you're doing within yourself internally in order to align with your soulmate. So next we have empowered. Yes, we've got the North Node here. So like, exactly, like this shamanic awakening, this regeneration, this like these downloads you get, this healing you go through, this awakening cycle you go through is all to empower you. It's exactly as the card just said. It's about stepping into your power, stepping into your potency, aligning with your North Node as well, which, you know, that could well mean like, you know, once you're empowered, once you're aligned with your North Node, and it may be useful to look up where your North Node is on your birth chart if you don't already, what house and what sign it's in. But just aligning with like your true path, aligning with like your higher self and where your higher self is guiding you. And once you're on that path, and once you are aligned with your North Node and where that's pulling you towards, that will be when your person will align with you. That will be when that just comes in naturally. Like it will just be like, you'll just be connected with them, is what I feel like. It'll just happen quite fast as well, I think, because again, it's like I feel like this has begun, like this connection has kind of already begun. There's like a secret beginning. You just possibly can't see it or possibly can't feel it yet. But if you have felt any internal nudges or any internal feeling like someone's kind of waiting for you or something, it's like that this is confirmation that like that's your person. Like, and we'll get into a little bit more detail about them with the tarot cards. But next we've got beautiful happiness. Exactly, secret beginning to like, this is you two. Like, you're these beautiful dolphins that the universe is lining you up with your other dolphin, like your other, or like I'm hearing for those of you that know Friends, the like this person, like when I think Phoebe's talking about Ross and Rachel, and she's like, oh, he's her lobster. So I don't know, I just got that with looking at the dolphins, like thinking about fish, and like that came through. So this person is like going to be like your lobster, like in the sense that like I think lobsters mate for life. I think that was the whole point of that reference, and I think dolphins do as well. I think they're monogamous and they mate for life, but I could be wrong. But the point is like, yeah, your paths will be aligned so that you'll then like be swimming in the same kind of direction. You can see these dolphins are like kind of heading the same way, and you'll feel so happy in this connection. But I think it's really important that you've gone through this kind of like embracing your darkness, like fully owning your shadow, looking into that, going like maybe doing some shadow healing work or some inner child healing work could be really useful. Maybe seeing like a shamanic practitioner could be really helpful for some of you, or like some kind of therapeutic work, or like like Jungian analysis or something like that. Because yeah, there's just this need to kind of like reconnect, replug back in to your power, and into this like fresh identity, like letting go of an old identity. And I feel like for many of you this is happening organically and you're kind of already midway through this process, but for others of you, having some kind of guide may help you to go through this transition, especially if this is your first awakening, or like your first connection, right, with like, say, shamanic spirits or like animal spirits or the other side. You might be getting all this like shamanic wisdom coming through and not quite know how to like wield that power, because it's like you're getting visions, or you're getting a lot of energy, right, with all this like acceleration and change and these like lightning strikes. Like you might be getting downloads, you might be getting like a lot happening within your body, and so maybe having some kind of guide or someone to help you work through that might be useful. But for others of you, I feel like you've got this. Like you already know what you're doing, and you're already very powerful anyway, and you can guide yourself through it. It's like you've got this old soul energy where like you were a healer or a shaman in a past life, and you kind of know how to go through, just like nature does, right? Like the trees know what to do at winter, the snake knows what to do when it needs to shed its skin, and it's just a process that's going to organically happen in order to align you with your truth, align you more powerfully with your power, align you with your north node, and align you with your happiness. So beautiful energy. I love this for you, pile number 3. I know it might feel quite painful and quite intense, but it's a necessary process to have this. Like with your particular Two of Cups, you've got this beautiful sunset. So I feel like, you know, some of you may be a little bit older. I'm getting a vibe of like you might be in your 30s or something by the time the soulmate comes in, because there's sort of a necessity to have a certain level of wisdom almost within yourself, a certain level of awakening before you can align with this like person, because I feel like they're kind of your equal in that sense. Like they're very much also very magical, because you've both got witch hats like on the back of your thing. So you might practice witchcraft or be like a sorcerer into kind of like sort of witchy stuff, wizardy stuff. But there's just this energy of you're both like divine counterparts, really, is what I'm getting. And you'll meet at a point where it's sort of like it's this beautiful sunset. You know, it's this beautiful, like, you know, all these peachy colors here. It's this beautiful, your dynamic is going to feel like this beautiful sunset after like maybe perhaps going through a bit of a kind of dark time with all that sort of intense awakening and stuff that you've been through. But let's have a look at your tarot cards to see the energy of your connection, a little bit more maybe about your person. So first up, we've got 6 of Pentacles. Then we have King of Cups, gorgeous. And then we've got 8 of Swords. Okay, so for you, part 2, I feel like this is the energy of your connection. This is your person and this is you in terms of the trajectory of connecting. So 6 of Pentacles, this is such a beautiful energy. It's interesting that in both this card and in this card, we've got a sunset. Actually, this might be a sunrise and sunset. But there's this energy of the sun there, and this energy of being very giving. It's like very generous. I feel like your relationship is going to be very generous. It's going to be very supportive. There's going to be a lot of like mutual sort of reciprocity or like support. Maybe even like could be financial support with the Pentacles, but I feel like it's kind of more to do with like everything, like emotional support, spiritual support, like again with all that awakening you've been through and your person's possibly been through as well. It's like you've got all this wisdom that's in you, so you'll be able to like give and share wisdom. This could also be talking about for some of you where you're awakening to this shamanic power, and it may be that this is calling you to be more generous with your wisdom. And like it spoke about with the archetypes guidebook that I was reading out for the shaman archetype, that there's a part of that once you've kind of gone through that process yourself, that you become the healer, right? Like you become the one that gives that wisdom right out to society. So maybe this is kind of saying you will align with your King of Cups, right? Your king, your other person, or you know, I'm pointing to this character, but it doesn't have to be like this could be your person coming in, this could be you. But the point is that like when you're at that point where you're shining your light, like you're shining your true sun, and you're like aligned with your North Node, you're empowered, right? And you're sharing your wisdom with others and giving it out like generously. That's where, and I'm not saying necessarily by giving out generously, you're giving it away for free. I'm just saying like you're kind of in a position of power where you're, sharing your gifts with the world, I guess, or sharing your healing abilities with the world, and in whatever way you feel called to do that. That's when your King of Cups is going to come in. That's when you're going to align with your person. We've got a lot of sea here. We've got like this couple are having a romantic dinner with wine by the seaside, and your King of Cups is also by the sea. So some of you might live near the sea, or your person could be a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or and I've just seen in the background the dolphin, and we had the happiness with the dolphin, and again, water. So you might both be like just water babies, like you might both love the water. You might like go surfing together or do water sports or something like that, or that might be how you meet them or something, because this King of Cups is like sitting on a shell throne, and he's got a telescope. So like maybe you meet them on the beach and they're like looking at you, and they're like trying to check you out or something, and like they're just sitting on the sand and you're like in the water swimming, or you're like in the water doing water sports or something like that. You're doing your thing. Or this could be more like metaphorically, in terms of being able to like swim in the watery depths, right? Because it's that kind of Scorpio energy, which I picked up as well. I didn't mention, but some of you may be Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising, or Scorpio North Node as well. So with that shaman card and with the snake, I'm getting kind of Scorpio vibes, the kind of like being comfortable going into the darkness, being comfortable like sort of navigating the navigating the shadow, navigating the like taboo, the things that are uncomfortable to society, or things that have been suppressed, that kind of thing. So this could be talking about, like, with all this water energy, it could be talking about like emotions, and like your person or you both are very comfortable navigating deeper emotions. You're going to have a very deep emotional connection. You're going to feel very comfortable like swimming in those waters, and like understanding each other emotionally, and having a very sort of fluid connection in that sense, and like feeling very attuned to each other emotionally. And finally, with this Eight of Swords, I feel like this is your energy at the moment, in terms of your sort of, I guess, your perspective on yourself. Yeah, your perspective on like what you have coming for you. And I guess this ties in with what I was saying. Where is the card? When I was speaking about the fertile void and the inner winter, and the feeling like nothing is happening for you. Like nothing is happening. You can see in this card like there's no growth. There's like just this ground that's just empty and nothing is growing. I'm getting kind of like vibes of like the land in France. This is oddly specific. The land in France after World War II. I'm not really sure why, but like kind of like as if, so maybe some of you have been through like a real battle, like you've been through some difficult past relationships or something. You might have even been through divorce or something, and it's like you're at this kind of ground zero where like everything's been wiped, and that's that whole like death and rebirth. Like you're dying to some kind of old way of being, some kind of old connection. Like there's just like everything that you kind of had was sort of maybe stripped away or taken away from you, and so the ground has just gone like fallow, like it's just been left, and you're going through this winter season in your life where it feels like nothing is growing, and it looks on the outside like nothing is growing, but that's a perspective. Like this woman's got she's got a blindfold on, and her arms are tied, but like she's not actually stuck on the ground. She believes she's stuck on the ground, and she believes that nothing is growing and that nothing is happening. But like, actually, the little cat is here, which is like your spirit guides, like pushing the sword, being like, I think if you just if you just give this a little nudge, it might fall over and you might be able to stand up and like actually walk through this and then get out of this cycle that you're in, or like out of this. Yeah, I'm hearing like doom. It's like kind of doom, maybe feeling sort of doom and gloom. Some of you might have had like enough negative things to happen to be sort of stuck in a state of doom and gloom about relationships or about yourself or something, or your ability to connect with your soulmate or something like that, or about your abilities, because we spoke a lot in this particular pile around you finding your power. I feel like for this pile more than the others, this is a lot to do with you awakening to like your inner power and your inner skills and things, and that aligning with that, like we spoke about with the aligning with your North Node and feeling empowered, is going to be the key that's going to line you up with this relationship. It's almost less to do with anything to do with your person or relationship specific stuff, and it's more to do with like, it's an inside job, like it's to do with you, and stepping into your power. And I don't mean like, when I just realized that might have sounded quite harsh. I don't mean like it's to do with you, pile 3, like what's wrong, like why have you not done. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Like it's like it's an inner process. And I feel like all these swords are linked with what I was saying with that healing process, I guess, that shamanic process of like going into your shadow. And like, see, this is a very shadowy card. We've got a lot of shadow here, and there's like all these swords, which are all just limiting beliefs that have been keeping you stuck and keeping you disempowered. And so your guides are like coming through, kind of saying like, you know, like this little cat, like we need to look into the shadow. We need to do that whole Scorpio thing of diving underneath the water, right? Going into the depths, going into the darkness, going into the shadow self, and like seeing what's been suppressed, seeing any like negative beliefs we've picked up about ourselves along the way that are like not serving us, any old identities we've constructed based on what other people might have told us we should be, and we need to let those go. And I feel like because she's wearing a blue dress, this is a lot to do with throat chakra healing as well, because this is all about stepping into your authenticity. Like, and also actually I just noticed in this 2 of Cups, the woman is wearing a blue dress as well. So not saying that you have to be a woman to identify with this, but this is just about the color of the dress or the color of what you're wearing. And actually he's wearing a blue shirt as well. So the point is that blue and the throat chakra is very important, and he's wearing a lot of blue here as well. So throat chakra healing is highlighted, you know, and that, like I said, this is all about expressing yourself, expressing your authenticity, speaking your truth, being able to speak your needs, being able to own your truth is really, really important. And I think they said something about that in the Archetypes book, but yeah. And also being able to hear your spirit guides as well, or your wisdom, because with the little birds are symbolic of messages from the spirit team, right? So like the little bird is also coming to be like, hey, pile 3, like, come on, you can get up, you can walk out. And not like, again, this is not like being like, pile 3, why are you sitting here with swords all around you, keeping you stuck? Like, no, like we understand, and I'm saying kind of we, like your guides are saying, we understand why you're in this position because of everything that's happened in your past. You know, it makes sense that you would feel this way, but this is an illusion. This is not the truth. This is not your true power. This is not your true identity. This is not who you truly are. So it's really important to kind of listen to like the wisdom of your higher self, to wake up to the wisdom of your higher self, because that is your truth, not what like other people have told you or any limiting beliefs that you have about yourself. That is just like 3D limitations. Okay, whew, that was a powerful message. My goodness, pile number 3, wowza. I'm gonna finish up with what have I done with the cards? What? 1 second. Sorry about that. I'm going to finish up with the daily rituals card to get a daily ritual. If you hear a strange groaning noise in the background, that is the dog that I'm dog sitting for, Heidi. She's super cute, but she is in the background and she sometimes makes weird groaning noises, but I just take them as like agreement that she is in agreement with the wisdom, so that's good. So what daily ritual does pile 3 need to embrace? There we go. Oh my goodness, I love this. If I can pick it up with my nails. Number 27, new beginnings. New and brighter beginnings await me now. Yep, exactly. This is confirming. Where is it? Why do I keep... There it is. Look. New beginnings, secret beginnings. There is a beginning coming for you. It's just secret at the moment. It's just being put like... It's under the surface, ready to bloom and blossom out. And like, I just feel like you're gonna be this whole new person, this whole new beautiful identity. And there's a lot of yellow here, which is the solar plexus chakra, which is all about like shining your light. And again, she's wearing a blue dress like you are in all these other things. So like, yeah, once you're able to step into your authentic truth and your power, you can walk into the light, and when you walk through that doorway, you will have this new beginning in love. Your soulmate will come through. I feel like it's a very romantic connection. I meant to say that with this card. I can't remember if I said that. Maybe I did say that and I've forgotten. But anyway, they're drinking wine, and it's just, yeah, you might travel a lot, or you might have lots of like meals together, or cook together, or like drink wine together, or something like that. So, which is pretty cool. So, whew, okay, pile number 3. I hope that resonated for you. Leave me a comment below if it did. I always love to hear from you, and I'm so grateful for all of you who have been doing that on my channel so far. I am so excited for you to manifest this relationship. If you do and you remember me, please come back and leave me a comment, because I would so love to hear if this is something you have stepped into. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the reading, because that helps tell me which content is resonating and tells the YouTube algorithm to send my videos around, which helps my little channel to grow. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already, and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. All the best with your soulmate journey, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye! Hi there, pile number 4. If you chose this 2 of Cups from the Wild Unknown Tarot, then this will be your reading on you will have union with this soulmate in your life. So just in case you didn't listen to the introduction, just to explain the rundown of this reading, I'm going to show you some cards initially that are going to be about like what might be blocking you currently from this union, from like aligning with it or calling it in. We're then going to look at some cards that are around what you can do to align with the union, and then we're going to have a look at some cards about your person or about your dynamic. So let's start off with the cards that are related to what might be blocking you. So we've got Abused with card number 14. We have got the Unseen with card number 27, and we have got Golden Topaz and Yellow Rose with Abundance, Raising Your Vibration, Light Missions, and Ra Activations. And then I'll show you these other ones in a moment. Let's start with these cards. So pile number 4. What I get through that might be holding you back from aligning with this soulmate, or with this, calling this love relationship in, is that there may be a wound from childhood, or even from, it could even be further back. It could be past life, or it could be ancestral. It could be something that you've just inherited within your like DNA, right? Or within your cells, that is passed down from like a mother or a father or something, like from I'm sort of particularly picking up a matrilineal line just because there's a female figure on this. But there's something around like a sense of possibly being neglected and not being like really seen or really heard or like really validated or recognized in your childhood. And that has led to possibly a sense of like manifesting the same kind of lack of nurturing and nourishment in relationships in your adult life, or like a total like not even manifesting any relationships at all. Like some of you, I'm kind of getting a vibe of someone who's just been single for a really long time, like been maybe in hermit mode. Like I'm getting kind of the vibe with the cracked ground, like this dryness, like a kind of, you've been through a really long dry spell type thing in your love life, or within romantic or just soulmate relationships, emotionally nurturing and nourishing relationships. Like it's been very dry, and it's almost because of some kind of wounding that happened in your childhood that's created like a pattern within, where then you've taken that into like your adult life, and that's created like the whole blueprint or the whole foundation for like all other relationships, or like almost like like I'm getting kind of a vibe of someone who's maybe avoidant. So looking up your attachment style might be something to look into. It might be that you have an avoidant attachment style. You may already know this about yourself. You may be like, yeah, all my exes have told me that, or my ex told me that, or like my psychotherapist told me that, or whatever. But it's like there's like, yeah, you can see this woman, she's kind of looking up to the sky, and she's got a blindfold on and her eyes are closed, and she's kind of like, nope, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to look at the past. I don't want to look at anyone. I don't want to look at relationships. I don't want to deal with this wound. Like it's kind of like, I don't want to see it. And I feel like this has created kind of a block to your solar plexus. Like I'm getting with this card, it's a muddy yellow color, like a mustardy yellow color. Like there's a darkness that's like, or like a brown, like a sludge is kind of what I'm getting, like a negative film that's like covering up your solar plexus chakra. And your solar plexus chakra is all about like your core self. It's about your confidence. It's your self-esteem. It's where you shine your light from, your true light from. It's that sense of feeling good in your own skin, in terms of like feeling comfortable being who you are. It's very like, if you think of solar, it's linked with like Leo energy. So it's like comfortable being like the center of attention, or being able to shine your light, or like truly kind of be, it doesn't mean like you've got to change from being sort of introvert to extrovert or anything, but it's just like kind of, you know, having a sense of like inner confidence. You don't have to be like super duper, like suddenly just become someone who can be like the total party goer or something. It's just more saying like you have a sense of strong core self-esteem and self confidence. Self-validation actually is what I'm getting. It's almost like this particular wound is to do with not being validated, not being seen. With the unseen, we've got the archetype of the unseen. This is like things that haven't been fully witnessed or like acknowledged. Yeah, this card can talk about like having a connection with like the like, you know, I guess the other side, if you like, for want of a better word, like the unseen, like kind of, you know, the spirit realm, the elemental realm, the things that normally we don't see in everyday life. Like, you know, some people do, I guess, but like, you know, many people don't, you know, it's that whole like, what is that film? Like, I see dead people. And you might have that. You might be someone who can see the other side. You might be able to see pass on loved ones, or like you may have always been able, actually, okay, I'm getting a clear picture now. I'm getting someone who maybe always did, who maybe always could see other things. They could see the truth behind situations. They could see behind illusions. They could see when people were lying. They could see, like, maybe you're kind of like a medium or something. You could see dead people. You could see angels. You could see the fairy realm, something like that, maybe as a child. And that part of you may have been gaslit, or may have been not validated, or just like you just didn't receive any kind of nurturing or encouragement or something, and it kind of went dry. Like it's like kind of like you've disconnected from that part of yourself, or like you like have learned to kind of quiet that voice. If it was kind of, you had a, say, clairaudient ability with these spirits or whatever it was, or with the spirit realm, or with your guides, or whatever it might be, or the angels or the fairies. It's like you learned to stop seeing it because it wasn't validated anymore, is kind of what I'm getting. And the result of that is it led to being parched, because we've got this very parched ground. It led to feeling very parched in terms of like your spiritual life, and then as a result in terms of your love life, because you've picked the card with two actual physical cups on it, which are about like as opposed to the other two of cups selection cards were people. This one is actual drinking vessels, and we've got this very dry ground. So there's something around you wanting to, needing to, actually, it's not just wanting to, needing to receive this emotional like water. It's like I want to like pour this cup onto this ground, and I feel like the soulmate that is coming in for you, and believe me, they are coming in for you, like, do not worry about that. This person is coming in for you, and it is going to be so nurturing to this abused part of yourself, this dry, parched part of yourself that has become disconnected and shut off and like closed your eyes to like all the beauty of who you really are, to your like true self, to your self-worth, to like your sense of connection with your spirit. And apologies if you can hear a little bit of groaning noises in the background. That's the dog that I'm dog sitting for at the moment, Heidi, and I just see it as like that's her agreeing with the reading. So anyway, yeah, I think that like solar plexus chakra healing is very highlighted here with this like golden, topaz, and yellow rose. There's a lot around yellow, and the yellow on this card is really different from the yellow on this card. This is very dark, and this is very light and sparkly and new and shiny. And there's like a beautiful butterfly, which is symbolic of rebirth and regeneration. Yeah, and it's raising your vibration, light missions, right activations. So, and abundance. It's like reconnecting with and seeing your light within, reconnecting with and seeing your worth within, your worthiness of a relationship, your self-worth, like how, like truly seeing yourself as the beautiful soul that you really are. And stepping into your light more, like feeling comfortable kind of being seen and stepping into your light, especially for those of you where I picked up on maybe someone who's kind of voluntarily sort of hermited themselves away from people to keep themselves like out of the light, or away from being seen, or not in the center, like not in the spotlight at all, like just away. Like maybe you've just totally stepped out of the dating game. You're just like, I don't even want to meet anyone, maybe, because it just might feel too painful. It might be that there's that wound around not wanting to be seen, or not that wound around like where your true self never was really seen or validated or recognized. It's like the intimacy that's required in a relationship is like with this huge, as symbolized by this huge eye here, it requires letting your true self be seen, right? It requires opening your eyes, taking off the blindfold, being able to truly mirror, being able to truly see yourselves and see the other person and let them see you. There's like a vulnerability there. And I feel like maybe because no one's done that for you and you've never had that process really mirrored to you. And I'm so sorry you have been through that. I do understand how that feels, that wound. And it can be quite difficult to heal wounds of self-worth and lack of validation from childhood, but it can be done. It can be done. It is a process, but it absolutely can be done. And I feel like with this light missions and activations here, it's like these activations are coming in for you if you're open to them. Like you can be open to receiving this upgrade, this like, yeah, having that connection with your inner light, being able to shine your light, feel more comfortable with who you really are. That is coming for you. Let's have a look at how you can align with this soulmate relationship, what you can do to align with it. So first up, we've got codes of the seeds. The blueprint is within you. Take the next step. Oh, this is so beautiful. Yeah, I feel like you are in a bit of a like, I'm kind of getting like Hanged Man vibes. For those of you that know tarot, the Hanged Man card, where he's like being hung from a tree by his feet. And the whole concept is that he's like having a complete change in perspective, being like made to surrender, and forced to see things in a different way. And kind of like, you know, there's sometimes a sense of like pause, of being like held back from something by kind of like spirit, right? So that you're forced to surrender to something and like then align more powerfully. with what is coming next for you. So I feel like that's the kind of process that you're in, that if you have felt like you've been going through a long dry patch, like there's a reason for that. It's like you've been in this holding cell is what I'm getting, like a sort of healing cell, so that you can have all these like activations and this like heal this wound, heal your solar plexus chakra, feel comfortable like really seeing yourself and seeing your true worth, so that like it's only from seeing your own worth that you're able to really like magnetize someone else in who can also see your worth. It's only by kind of offering yourself this cup of love that you can then magnetize this other cup. It's only by knowing that, like, you know, we've got two roses in this card as well. It's like, you know, roses have thorns, and they grow through, you know, like if you think of the soil, if you put, you know, a lot of like what is it called? Oh my gosh, when I'm channeling sometimes I just forget words. Like stuff to help the fertility, like mulch or something to kind of help the fertility of the soil so that the roses grow in this really beautiful way. So sometimes you have to put like shit down, right? Like, you know, like actual, like the most beautiful rose has often grown through like the most horrendous shit. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting. And there's a lot of like darkness behind, but then there's these two cups that are white and these two beautiful red roses. So it's like, it doesn't matter what darkness you've been through or your past or like the hurts and the pain that you've been through. It's like, you know, even if you've gone through the most shitty stuff, it's like you can still grow to be the most beautiful rose and really honor the beauty, honor your own beauty, and that will like kind of magnetize, you know, your counterpart in for you. And I feel like with this card, the blueprint is within you. It's like the blueprint for this relationship is already within you. Even though you might have gone through all this abuse, even though you had all this wounding, it's like the blueprint for all this like healing and being able to raise your vibration and being able to magnetize this relationship in is already there. It's already in you. Next we have life purpose, manifest your dreams. Wow. I feel like for some of you this is saying, I'm getting a couple of different messages here. For some of you this is saying like your life purpose may be linked with like this unseen world. So this part of you that wasn't validated when you were younger around being able to see the spirit realm or see like the elementals or have that connection with like the things in the world that are unseen, you know, could even be talking about like being like an investigator, right? Or like a journalist or something, you know, someone who like is able to dig and like kind of find out information about things that are unseen. There's something around like aligning with your life purpose that is going to be very important to magnetize this person in. Like that's a step for you to do. That's like part of your next step is aligning with your purpose. For others of you, part of your next step is manifesting your dreams in terms of like, it's up to you to manifest the relationship that you want to see in your life. So if you want this love relationship, it's really important to like maybe unpack any of this childhood stuff, whether that's through therapy or with a trusted friend or with a guide of some sort, or just, you know, through your own self-development journey. It's important to kind of like really open your eyes, take off that blindfold, really see yourself really clearly, and also get really clear on like what type of relationship you're really wanting to manifest, like the kind of intimacy that you want to manifest and like how that's going to look like. What do you want your relationship to look like? It's interesting again for you that the card you picked doesn't have any people in it. It's just got two cups. There's no, it's like the vibe I'm getting is like you can't actually see yourself in a relationship because there's no people here. It's like you can't see yourself, you can't see your soulmate, you don't have, it's like you don't see, I so want to hug you, powerful, because it's like you don't see how worthy you are, you don't see how beautiful you are, you don't see how deserving you are of this love relationship. It's like all you see is a cup, and like your guides are just coming in like, oh my goodness, like I am just feeling this immense wave. I wish I could give this to you. I hope you can kind of feel this a little bit. There's this immense wave of love that's like coming out, pouring out to you. I'm getting like Reiki might be helpful. I'm just suddenly getting like my palms feel really hot, and I'm I'm going like this, and this person's holding her hands up. So some of you may be Reiki healers, or Reiki healing may be helpful to heal this wound and helpful to help you feel more worthy. So that could be a way, if you're not comfortable going to traditional talking therapy or something like that, then having some kind of Reiki therapy, particularly if you can go to an actual advanced practitioner as opposed to just doing, I mean, not to knock YouTube ones or whatever, you can do that if you want, but going to an in-person Reiki practitioner may be helpful, because you can see this woman, her hands have all these like sparkles. So it's like there's a lot of like healing energy coming from the hands, or having some other kind of somatic release therapy through like massage therapy, through something where someone uses their hands. Or also, like, I'm getting someone who does a lot of crafts. So like you yourself doing something with your hands may be helpful to like help you reconnect with your true self, help you validate yourself, help you feel more worthy, and boost your confidence and feel more abundant, and in turn attract a relationship. Lastly, we have, whoopsie, I pulled one of your tarot cards in advance. Oh, beautiful. Going forward. Yes. Like, there is this beautiful sun waiting for you, and it's just about like taking the steps along this path, going forward towards the abundance that you're really deserving of. It's like this golden yellow brick road kind of energy I'm getting. It's like kind of following your sun, following your light, like following what draws you, following where you feel called, going forward with what you enjoy in your life as well. Because it's like the blueprint is within you. Sorry, I'm just being drawing my attention to her third eye. Like your intuition will tell you the way forward, essentially. Your intuition will tell you how to step into your purpose, how to manifest your dreams, how to go forward with a relationship, how to feel comfortable with intimacy. Maybe some kind of intimacy healing might be also highlighted for some of you if you identify with being an avoidant attachment style. But yeah, I think all of this is within you. It's like you're being deliberately held by the universe in this sort of hanged man state at the moment until you can like heal this wound and kind of see things in a different perspective with unseen. There's something you need to see. And I feel like it's like you really need to see yourself. You need to come and go through a process of like self-intimacy. And intimacy is like, if you break that down, it's like into me, see. So like as an INTO space ME space SEE, like you're seeing into me, and there's a need for you to see into yourself before you can move forward with manifesting this relationship in. So let's have a look at the tarot and see a little bit more about this person, about this soulmate, and like about the dynamic between the two of you, and then we'll finish up with a daily ritual card. So we have got Mother of Swords, we have got Mother of Pentacles. Ooh, these are equivalent to the Queen. So this is Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and we've got Ace of Swords. Wow, beautiful energy. So interesting. Okay, so what I'm getting from these cards is, actually, I feel like putting that in the middle. I feel like this is kind of you, and this is your person, and it might be flip-flopped, by the way. So if you don't resonate with this could be more your energy, but I feel like this is your energy, especially for those of you that are avoidant attached, because I'm getting a kind of, that Mother of Swords can sometimes speak of a cold energy, and this could come back to what you saw patterned in your childhood with that where did I put your card? Yeah, with this, where you weren't really seen, and you weren't validated or recognized for who you really were, and so the nurturing style you got was very dry. Like you weren't emotionally nourished or nurtured properly, and that may be a pattern that now you have within, because you are both like that with yourself, and then you're like that in relationships. So it may also be that you relate to people from an intellectual point of view, because the Queen of Swords is often very like more connected with her logical side, or her like mental side than her emotional side. Like she's very wise, as symbolized by the owl, and perhaps more operates from, perhaps an intellectual standpoint, or like she needs to sort of, or she likes to kind of understand things and approach things in a sort of more from a like analytical point of view, perhaps, and can sometimes come off as a little bit emotionally cold. I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, Powerful, you're so cold. Like, no. I feel like actually I feel a lot of warmth from your energy, but maybe just in connections, because maybe you didn't receive a lot of warmth and nourishment and nurturing and like emotional support and like love, unconditional love, like with the cup, you know, again, I just keep wanting to pour the cup onto that like poor parched dry land. It's like you then are like that with yourself, and then maybe you either end up being like that in relationships, or you attract people who are like that to you because that's what you had in childhood. So you attract partners who mirror that same dynamic, who are also emotionally standoffish, emotionally maybe avoidant or something, and approach things from a perhaps more like logical manner. I do get as well with the owl, though, that part of this connection is like, again, when you're able to see all sides of a situation, like, because owls can swivel their heads, right? Like, it's so creepy, but it's so crazy. I kind of love it. Like, it's so funny to watch, but their heads just go like practically 360. And it's like when you're able to see, like with that, sorry, I keep being drawn back to like this card, when you're able to really see all sides of yourself and really embrace all those sides, that will be something that will be like it'll be something that will start to happen within this connection, I think, a lot more. Like, again, it's that intimacy thing, it's that mirroring thing. Like, when you're in a connection, people mirror things back to you. Like, you know, what you're manifesting on the outside in a relationship is always just a mirror of how you feel within about yourself. Always, always, always. So that's why it's so important to like see all sides, to kind of like see yourself thoroughly, so you really know like who you really are, and then you can also offer that emotional support to someone else as well. I feel like your person is in this Mother of Pentacles energy, which is a very nurturing energy. It's a very stable energy. It's very calm. It's very feminine. So you may identify as masculine, but it doesn't have to be. This isn't really about gender. This is just like energy. So you can identify in terms of your gender or your sex as something else, but your energy is either masculine or feminine. But I feel like this is your person in this sort of very nurturing, very sweet, very vigilant kind of energy. Like this deer is sort of like looking out. She's being very careful to see invaders, and this little deer is just like, her little baby deer is kind of like snuggling up to her. So like, I feel like your person's going to be very protective of you, and very nurturing, and give you a lot of the care and support that you maybe didn't have in childhood. There's also like green, which is the heart chakra, blue, which is the throat chakra, and purple, which is the third eye chakra here. So I feel like the upper chakras are very balanced and very clear. So all this could be the dynamic in the relationship, that you have a beautiful like connection, unconditional love connection with the green. You're able to speak your authentic truth with each other with the blue, and the purple, you have a very intuitive connection with each other. But it's interesting that this Queen of Pentacles, this Mother of Pentacles card, has like these different colors on it. If the camera will focus, and this card is literally just black and white. So black and white thinking might be, I feel like that's being highlighted like in terms of the psychological term. It might be something that, again, because of that childhood wound, you might bring very black and white thinking into your connections, where like you can't see all the shades of something, or it's like you can't see all the shades of yourself, or like if someone's right or wrong, it's like, nope, it's like it's this or that's this, or like very sort of, it could be quite catastrophic thinking as well, is what I'm getting. Yeah, that won't be for all of you. This is just for some of you, and it will depend on like where you're at on your journey when you meet the person and how much healing you've done, and like if you've done any work on yourself already. But if you maybe haven't fully done that deeper work and done that delving within yourself, it may be that this relationship kind of highlights some of these things and brings them to the surface to be healed, which is totally fine as well, by the way. Like you do not have to be like fully healed to get into a relationship, by the way. Like the universe often will bring you, or your guides will often bring you a relationship in order to heal certain things, and in order to bring certain wounds to the surface to be healed or more fully healed. There's often a certain level of healing you can get to in and of yourself, and that's great if you've done that already or you're in the process of doing that. That takes a lot of bravery and a lot of strength to do that. So well done if you oh my god, sorry, I didn't mean to say that like well done like patronizingly. I mean like it genuinely does require a lot of work to go through that process of seeing yourself or have someone see you. It is a very vulnerable process. But there's like so much you can get to a certain point with that, but then you may not be able to heal certain wounds or certain levels of a wound until you're in a relationship and you have certain things mirrored to you. So like, I mean, I will use my own self as an example because Spirit are calling me out to do that, and which is quite vulnerable, but like, here we go. I had a long period also in a state of I had a dry spell for like many years before I met my soulmate. I dated a little bit here and there, but like I was mostly consciously, deliberately kind of on my own doing a healing process, and I healed quite a lot, and I worked through a lot of inner childhood stuff and traumas and going through a whole, spiritual awakening, blah, 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 and healed a certain level of things and got to a certain point. And like, how you get to a certain point, you kind of think, hey, cool, like I've reached the end of the cycle. Like, that's it. I feel like I've kind of healed a lot of old dynamics or something. And then you get into a new relationship and like, even though like I'm with my soulmate now, like there are still triggers or there are still old things that I'm still working through healing, because there are still things that like that person kind of mirrors to me. So I got to a certain level with my own healing, and then the universe brought someone in to like help kind of accelerate that and bring to the surface like the rest of the kind of healing process, if you like. So it may be just to kind of give you a bit of a heads up that might be something that happens within this connection, that like any wounds around self-worth, and especially for you, pile number 4, which I can totally resonate with. That was like, this pile could be my own because that has fully been my journey as well. In terms of, self-worth, self-esteem, self-confidence, like it's taken me till, I'm 41 now. It's taken me till now to put this work out there. Like I have been doing it for years, but only just had the confidence this year to really step into my life purpose a lot more powerfully than I have done before. I've done it bits and bobs here and there before, and I've kind of, done various things towards this, but like, it's taken till now. So this could be something that like comes in a little bit later in life, or like, helps activate you to your like higher purpose. I think, did we have a purpose card for you? Don't know what I've done with it. Yes, we did. Life purpose, manifest your dreams. Yeah. This connection may help you step into your purpose more powerfully. And with this Ace of Swords being this kind of connecting energy, I feel like this is like, with the number 8, the infinity sign here, it's like you have always been connected. Like this is a true soulmate in the sense of like, you have had past lives likely with this person. You have always been connected on a spiritual level. With the number 8, that's a very spiritual number. Like, again, it's that infinite connection. It could also be very like balanced in terms of yin and yang energies. But I feel like how it's going to come in is going to be like this, like the universe, like handing you this sword, like vump, this truth, this like light bulb moment. Like you're just going to know, because swords are about knowledge and knowing. Like you were going to know when you meet them that they're your soulmate. Like it's just going to be like lightning strikes is what I'm getting. Like, and quite romantic. Like you will know they're a romantic soulmate if that's what you're looking for. Like it will just be like lightning totally strikes, and this this connection is just there. It's like the two of you are just like these lightning strike, you know, you're so powerful, such powerful beings to like kind of connect in this way. And also I'm just being guided to the fact that this figure of 8 has all the different colors of all the chakras. So yeah, you might well be going through quite a big spiritual awakening, or this relationship, this connection might bring about a spiritual awakening when you meet this person. So that, for those of you that identify with the whole twin flame thing, you could be twin flames, because this can sometimes, that kind of infinity connection thing and the chakra awakening could be that, but it doesn't have to be. And don't worry if you don't, or you don't believe in that. It's totally fine. You can still totally have a spiritual connection or a soulmate connection that is equally as awakening and equally as deep. So anyway, I'm going to leave your reading there, pile number 4. I hope that resonated for you. Leave me a comment below if it did. Oh, shoot, sorry, one sec. I forgot. I was meant to finish with a daily ritual card. So if you still want one of those, stick around for a second. I'm going to pull a daily ritual card for you to finish off. What does pile 4 need to embrace or know to magnetize this soulmate in? What does pile 4 need to do or know to magnetize this person in? Ooh, maybe nothing. Maybe you don't need to do anything. What does this person, what can this person do? Woo! Woohoo! 22, magic. Magic surrounds me today. Yeah, so I feel like if you want to do any kind of, for some of you that might have like kind of any sort of spell work type things that you do, if you want to sort of do like manifesting things, there's a lot of like moons and planets and things on this person's dress. So like moon rituals could be, and she's got a full moon above her head as well, so a moon ritual could be a powerful thing to do to manifest this soulmate. Being open to the magic of the universe and the synchronicities that they might be sending you and the signs they may be sending you. Yeah, connecting with your own sense of magic within as well. Like knowing that you are magic and that magic is around you. Also, I feel guided to say there's a great woman on YouTube called Mary something, I think, but her channel is called like MK Magic. I love her meditations. So that just came up because she also has blonde hair, and yeah, her meditations are really powerful. She may have ones about relationships, I don't know, but she's got lots of ones about manifesting and about like kind of connecting with like your inner magic and things like that. So that could be useful if you like things like that. But otherwise, just, yeah, whatever you feel, whatever is magical. I feel like this connection is going to be very magical. I feel like it's going to come about in a very magical way. And I feel like as soon as you're able to connect with your own magic and your own sense of yourself as this beautiful, magical being, that will be when this like connection comes in. Okay, my lovely powerfuls, I am truly going to leave it there for you now. I hope this resonated. Don't forget to leave a comment below if it did. I'm so grateful for those of you who have been doing that. It really helps my channel to grow. Don't forget to hit the like button if it resonated for you, because it helps tell me which content is resonating, and again, it tells the YouTube algorithm to send my videos around, which helps my channel grow. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already, and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. Thank you so much for being here. All the best for your soulmate journey. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next reading. Oh, my love. Bye.